wrong last night?
Skip, this is what I always tell athletes when they want to bounce back, or critics have been very outspoken about them. I say, you don't need to prove them wrong. You need to prove you right. And in the process of proving yourself right, they'll be absolutely wrong. Aaron Rodgers had the utmost confidence. Skip, the thing is with Aaron Rodgers is because he set the bar so high. It's kind of like Usain Bolt, Skip. He runs a 9.58, and then he wins his last Olympics at 9.81. People are like, man, Usain Bolt's slow. Well, when you compare it to 9.58, 9.81 is slow. When you compare Aaron Rodgers' 45 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, or 40 touchdowns with 4 picks, and you look at 26-4, but he still threw for 4,000 yards, you're like, well, yeah, Aaron Rodgers looked like he lost it. Skip, you saw the throws that this man can make. The way he can spin the ball from different platforms, rolling left, rolling right, throwing across his body, down the field. He hasn't lost it, Skip. And last night, they took Aaron Jones. We're not going to let you run wild like you did last week. Aaron Rodgers, make those throws. He's making throws. Now, remind you now, he's doing this without Davante Adams. He's 5-0 without Davante Adams in his career. 33 points a game. That's what he's doing. How many receivers, if you take away their best receiver, their number one, true number one? A lot of these guys, Skip, people don't realize Allen Lazard, he's an undrafted free agent. I think Scanlon also is an undrafted free agent. That's what he's doing it with. He's thrown 2 touchdowns in his career to guys that were taken in the first round. Let that sink in, Skip. I want you to let that sink in. I'm going to let this marinate. It's been on the stove for about 4 hours, cooking low, 150 degrees. You know, your brother asked Rick about it. I don't know if he could barbecue, but we like to put that thing on, we marinate it, put it in there, let it cook slow for long periods of time. So this has been brewing for about 15,
We grew up in a barbecue restaurant.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about there. So we're saying slow. 2 touchdowns to guys that were selected in the first round. So he's doing that. Skip, it's Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers. 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns with 4 interceptions, a 13-3 record, the number 2 seed in the NFC, runs into a buzzsaw in San Francisco. Skip, his defense couldn't get off the field. And they said, man, the man stepped off a cliff. There are probably 28 other quarterbacks that want to step off that cliff. Russell doesn't want to step off that cliff like that. My homeboy, Lamar Jackson. But it's hard for me to say there are 5 other quarterbacks in the NFL that wouldn't want what Aaron Rodgers did last year.
Really?
He did you a favor, too. You need to heap praise on him because he saved you.
My turn?
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron Rodgers. I love you, man. You were so good to me. I needed you so badly to come through for me last night, and I was so happy for my man and my friend Lil Wayne because it was his birthday, and Aaron Rodgers went to Wayne's hometown, New Orleans, Louisiana, and gave Wayne the biggest, best birthday present possible. That huge Sunday night primetime win over the New Orleans Saints. Way to go, Aaron. All I know is Tampa Bay is now leading that division.
Short-lived.
You getting scared?
Short-lived.
Okay. Now, back to what actually happened in the football game. I thought Aaron Rodgers was outstanding. Again, without Davante Adams, he threw some lasers. It was highly impressive. And yet, when I step back and look at it, both he and Drew Brees both had a QBR of 88, which is very good, scale of 0 to 100. But I thought Drew actually outplayed Aaron Rodgers because Drew slightly outplayed him by completing, look at this, 29 of 36 by Drew Brees. Is that good? That's 81%.
Yeah.
Does that work? And he threw for 288 yards, right? To 283 for Aaron Rodgers. So 5 more yards. And Aaron only completed, here we go again, only 66% of his chance.
Only 66.
21 of 32. Well, that in this league, that's not great. Not great. So what
about degree of difficulty? That's the term you like to use, the degree of difficulty in which he's completing those.
So this game turned on one play, and it wasn't Drew Brees' fault because he wasn't under center at this point. This game turned on a play in which Green Bay went for it on 4th down first. This is the first that led to the play, and they got stuffed. My little man, Aaron Jones, got stuffed.
Oh, really?
And first they marked it like a 1st down, and I said, well, that's wrong.
Right.
I'll take it, but it's wrong, right? And they reviewed it, and all of a sudden it's Saints ball, and Drew Brees stands right up and hits Latavius Murray right over the middle for 7 yards. Now it's 2nd and 3 all the way down at the Green Bay 41-yard line. If we could see this play, all of a sudden I'm saying, wait a second, I didn't even notice Taysom Hill was in the game, and he's under center and tries to do a mesh point, option handoff, read handoff, and he loses the football and ball game. It turned there because it was 27 all, and if they just stormed down the field with Drew Brees throwing it here, there, and everywhere, I just don't think that Green Bay is going to win that game.
Okay.
That's just me. That was the turning point. And all of a sudden it goes the other way, and Aaron drives them to a field goal, and then there was they forced Drew to punt, and New Orleans lost all of its momentum. And here we go, boom, 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 and Aaron trick plays them. He gets them jump off sides. He's great at that. He can trick play.
Tom does that all the time.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Like this guy. This guy
of course, he's not good at
lived on it. He has lived on it. And not only did he get them to jump, but then he gets Jackrabbit to foul in the end zone like crazy because he's like,
he's holding the guy's arms.
I don't even know what's happening down here, but I'm just going to hold his arm. And, of course, they declined the offsides, and they take it 1st and goal at the 1.
And then they got him again with pass interference in the end zone.
Okay. So here's my point. I'm going to read this one more time because I'm going to stand by this. Aaron Rodgers always gets off to hot starts, but this is from Pro Football Focus back June 8th of 2020, just back in June. They were evaluating last year's quarterbacks and looking ahead to ranking their top 50 for this year, top 50 players. And they concluded that Rodgers did not belong in the top 50 because they said Rodgers has become ever more evidently part of the problem in Green Bay, and his own team spent the offseason laying plans to minimize his role in 2020 and replace him beyond that. We know what happened with Jordan Love in the draft. Rodgers finished the regular season, this is last year's, the number 9 ranked QB in the league, but he was just 17th from week 8 onward. So it's a long season, and Aaron has often eroded over the second half of the season because last year he finished 18th in QBR and 21st in completion percentage. Well, for your sake, I hope he can sustain because he's off to a rip-roaring start.
Skip, but here's the thing, and you talk about this all the time. The same organizations make mistakes. Remember, that's the Chicago took Mitchell Trubisky over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes.
They did.
And how many organizations passed on Tom Brady? How many passed on Drew Brees? How many passed on Joe Montana? So all of a sudden, they spent this, he's part of the problem. They spent this offseason taking Jordan Love. Okay. Well, he better turn out to be Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers turned out when they took him with Brett Favre on the roster. That's what he better be.
Yep.
And more times than not, what have we seen, Skip? We've seen that it doesn't work out like that. So they better be right. And you mentioned all those stats. He finished this in QBR and this in completion percentage. I know a guy that everybody touted as the GOAT that had worse stats than he did. But ain't none of my business. I don't even know why I brought that up.
The guy who's quietly lighting it up for Tampa Bay.
Quietly lighting it up. With them 2-yard, them 1-yard touchdowns. You killed Aaron Rodgers. He 1-yard touchdowns. How many he got?